Time Walk with Me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Time Walk with me. What are we looking at today? The same thing we always look at. A commander deck to take over the world! Actually, we're looking at Grist the Hunger Tide. This is a very unique card because on the surface, it seems to be a planeswalker that doesn't specifically say that it can be your commander. But take a look at its top ability. When it's anywhere but on the battlefield, it's a 1/1 insect in addition to its other types. That makes it a legendary creature, which makes it eligible to be your commander. This deck is based on Grist's +1 ability, which is to create a 1/1 black and green insect token and mill a card. If the milled card is an insect, Grist gets another loyalty counter and you create another token and mill another card. And you keep going until you mill something that isn't an insect. Of course, Grist's other abilities can come in very handy too. Its -2 ability has you sacrifice a creature to destroy target creature or planeswalker. It's nice when a deck's commander takes care of much of the deck's spot removal. And its -5 ability, which you can get to as early as the turn after Grist comes out, can win you the game. Grist is just about the perfect planeswalker. It protects itself, it protects you, it removes both creatures and players, and it only costs 3 mana. Naturally, this deck is full of insect cards for Grist to eat. Giant Mantis, Bane of the Living, Nantuko Vigilante, Vorapede, Giant Ankeg, Carrion Grub, Battlefly Swarm, Distended Mindbender, It of the Horrid Swarm, Spinal Centipede, Crawl Raider, Adaptive Shimmerer, Durable Coilbug, this one doesn't have to stay in the graveyard if you don't want it to, Crawl Swarm, neither does this one, Iridescent Hornbeetle, Brain Maggot, Nantuko Husk, Giant Ataphage, Scute Swarm, Chain Flail Centipede, Virus Beetle, Springleaf Avenger, Mortipede, Spire Mangler, Halo Scarab, Deadly Grub, Giant Dust Wasp, Crawl Stinger, and last but probably not least, Jagwasp Swarm. It might occur to you that some of these insects would be nice to actually cast. Well, I thought of that too. These bring something from the graveyard directly to the battlefield. Dread Return, Victimize, Unbreakable Bond, Bond of Revival, and Rise of the Witch King. These put things into my hand from the graveyard. Urborg Repossession, Regrowth, and Road of Return. And these combo very well with Grist by putting cards from the graveyard on top of my library. All but the first one puts any number of creatures on top of my library, creating a nice situation where Grist can mill them all again and give me another insect for each of them. Noxious Revival, Footbottom Feast, Forever Young, and Bone Harvest. I'm seriously considering getting a Living Death for this deck. I have one in another deck, but I don't really feel like proxying it. I don't know, maybe I'd save money. But I wouldn't save much because the Living Death from the Warhammer sets is not very expensive. Charcoal Diamond, Moss Diamond, Cultivate, Golgari Keyrune, Skyshroud Claim, Entish Restoration, Reap and Sow, and Edge of Autumn. Old Rutstein, he mills you and gives you something. Beast Within, I couldn't not put this in here. Desert Twister, it's expensive to cast, but it can destroy anything, including a land. Natural End, with this you basically eat an artifact or enchantment. Sounds natural to me. Gothamog Morgul Lieutenant, this makes your bugs a lot more threatening. Renata Called to the Hunt, this makes your bugs come out as 2/2s. Lotleth Giant. It's fine that this costs a lot of mana because you'll want to wait to cast it until you have a lot of bugs in your graveyard anyway. Peregrine Took. This makes Grist give you foods along with bugs, and with those foods you can either gain life or draw cards. That's what I call good value. Owlbear Shepherd. You should reach the 8 total power threshold pretty quickly, and then it's like you're the monarch. Pendelhaven Elder. This makes your bugs into 2/3s as long as Renata didn't give them +1/+1 counters. She even gives herself the buff. Mirkwood Bats. This is really good with both Grist and Peregrine out. Swamp/Forest, of course. Thespian Stage, Llanowar Wastes, Study Hall, Thriving Moor, Golgari Rot Farm, Temple of Malady, Dark Boar Pathway, Vivid Grove, and Thriving Grove. So there we have it. That is my Grist the Hunger Tide deck, full of bugs and other things. What do you think? Tell me what you think, what you thought, what you will think, and I'll see you later.